Welcome back to Chit Chats, everybody. My name is Antonio.
My name is Dean.
My name is Tycho. Let's have a chit chat.
You did it.
Jazz
You did
hands,
it.
let's go.
Proud of you, Tycho.
There was a lot of stress going into that moment.
Mhm.
You know what?
Yeah,
Standing
but we
ovation.
got through it. You got through it. Yeah. Here, I'll
Standing
give you-
ovation.
Yeah, I'll give you a standing ovation. That was good. That was good. You nailed it. Not everyone nails it on the first try. You know what I mean? Some people stumble their
Yep.
words. Sometimes they say chat shit. You know, it's like
Yeah.
bad things happen, but you did it.
I never mumbled my
You
words.
did it.
No. But yeah, welcome back, everybody. Yeah, so this is an episode of Chit Chats, and this is a special episode of Chit Chats for multiple reasons. Because for one, as you can see clearly if you have eyeballs, we have a special guest that has never been on the show before, Mr. Tycho LeGrue. Welcome to the show, Tycho. It's good to have you.
Am I pointing to him on screen?
No, on my screen you are pointing to darkness. You are pointing to just
What about
avoid.
here?
There you go. Now you're pointing at him.
Well, darkness is
And I'm pointing at him too. Yeah, look
All
at him.
right.
But
Look
yeah,
at this guy right here.
Tycho. I've been meaning to have you on the show for a while, so it's good to have you. This is a special episode. I wanted to have you on for this episode because I think that this will be a fun one. Because we're doing a reoccurring segment that we've done multiple times on this show, debate night. This will be fun. Tycho, we took intro to law together in high school. I remember parts of the class, and I'm sure you remember a specific part of the class that I'm thinking of right
part
now.
that I think that will go down in history forever.
It will go down in history forever. And you can watch that part of history on my YouTube channel, Tonyverse. Link
in bio.
Shameless
Link in
plug.
bio.
You skip it. That's a raw moment.
But you should watch this video first, though, just to be clear.
He said the line.
True, did you? I missed it. Dang it!
You missed
I'll go
the
back.
standing ovation.
Wait, can you do it again?
Just then.
Do it. Can you say the line, Tycho?
Say the line. Say the line.
Bruh.
Oh,
Yeah.
you said it. Okay, that gave me a rush of adrenaline. Okay. Anyway. Okay.
Chills.
Thank you for that.
Actual chills.
Yes, for real, dude. Okay, so we're doing debate night, and so we've done this before, and this is Tycho's first time, so I'm gonna just give a brief explanation on how to do it for the audience and also for Tycho. Dean, you've done it before. You should know.
I've done it before.
But okay, basically how this is gonna work is that the three of us have prepared 2 to 3 debate topics, just in general. And how this is gonna work is one by one, we're gonna go in a circle and present one of our topics to the other 2 people in the call. And then those 2 people will have to debate that topic. And then the person that picked the topic will then choose who they think won the debate based on the arguments that they present. The participants of each debate will only have a minute to present their arguments. So you're strapped for time, so you got to use your time effectively. These are the first time that we're hearing these topics, so they're gonna be a surprise. We're not gonna have a whole lot of time to prepare, but that's the fun part.
Right.
So Tycho, since you're our guest, why don't you, just so me and Dean can kind of show you like how this is gonna go, why don't you present your first topic of the night for us?
Okay, so I just want to check. How is it decided who picks which side of the argument? Is it just whoever speaks up first?
Right. I'm glad you asked that. We do have a system of how to choose that. But I would just introduce your first topic, and then I'll show how we decide that.
All right. So this one actually dates back a few years back. I think when we were just starting out high school, when the city of Eugene still pretended that print media mattered for receiving your news. So this question comes from a pair of headlines that appeared in the same section of the newspaper on the same day. Would it be better to die of choking at a donut eating contest, or to fall into a wood chipper and live?
That's a tricky one.
Okay. I like that. Wait. Okay. So die of choking in a
I'm
donut.
choking at a donut eating contest, or fall into a wood chipper and live, which assumes that you still at least have the top half of your torso.
you have whatever, internal organs and, external organs that you need to be living still.
But you could also be hooked up to machines as well to like simulate your organs.
I'll take the liberty of assuming that the wood chipper was stopped after the person fell in, so they were able to, I don't know, crawl away with it mostly intact.
They were able to get out of there.
Are we assuming there are no legs, no arms, or are we just assuming that they have been in the wood chipper long enough to where like they could lose some necessary internal organs, but those organs can be replicated by machines?
I forget the body of the article that had that particular headline, so I think that's up to your discretion.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, at one point, we could go down an infinite number of rabbit holes on how specific we want to make this, but I guess for simplicity and time's sake, we should just, I guess, kind of look at them just as they are.
Let's assume a moderate amount of mutilation.
Okay, moderate amount.
Okay,
I'll
thank
take
you
a
for
moderate
clarifying. Okay, so Tycho, I don't know if you, so we do have a process on how we pick, who's going to decide what debate or what side of the debate. Basically, I just shared my screen. We have a coin flip here, or we have a coin to flip here. Basically, me or Deen are going to pick, heads or tails, and then basically whoever wins the coin flip will get to pick what side they want to debate first. That's how we normally do it.
All right.
Did you have like an idea of who you wanted to do? I'm just curious if you had you wanted me to do a certain side and Deen to do a certain side.
No, actually, this one's. It could go either way.
Okay. All right. Well, then, Deen, I will give you the privilege of calling the coin flip.
I choose tails. I always go for tails.
All right. Well, let's see if you get lucky today. It is heads, so I get to pick first for this. At least for this debate. Okay. So I'll be.
Get a timer set to go.
Yeah. If you want to pull up a 1 minute timer, that would be great.
Right.
But I think I'll choose the donut eating contest side.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
I will argue for that. For why, just to be clear, it would be better to die in a donut eating contest, right?
All right. It's your funeral.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm. It is my funeral if I were to be the one that died in the donut eating contest. All right, but let me know when you want to start the timer, and then I will present my argument. Because since I got to pick my side first, I do have to present my argument first.
I'll just start the timer as soon as you start talking.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, I gotta get ready. Okay, and I'll be presenting to the camera, so I'm presenting to you, Tycho. All right. Okay. So here's why I think it'd be better to die in a donut eating contest. So, donuts, everyone loves donuts. Donuts they're a great thing. You know what I mean? They may not be the healthiest for you, but that's the thing. They're not meant to be healthy. They're meant to be a tasty little treat. And what better way, dying in general sucks. The idea of dying sucks. You don't really want to die. But if you're going to die, if you had to have a reason to die, why not die in a donut eating contest? You get to pig out. You get to go all out, eat all these donuts. They're so good. Yummy donut. And you get to, and then you just get to, all right, well, I'm leaving this realm. I'm leaving this terrible place we call Earth. You know what I mean? But I'm doing it in style. You know what I mean? I'm doing it in style. I'm leaving with grace, and why would you want to, and kind of just to argue against my opponent's side, why would you want to go through a wood chipper and live? You'd probably be in horrible condition. I wouldn't want to be living at that point. I'd be like, well, it's my time to go. And even if I had my organs to participate in the donut eating contest after the wood chipper incident, I would do that. And that's my argument. Thank you.
Strongly argued and soundly put.
Thank you.
All right.
Whew, okay. All right. So now just count Deen off, or whenever Deen wants to start, he can go.
Ready, Deen?
All right. Let me know when.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, my opponent is a fake, phony, and a fraud, alright? He would rather die in a donut eating contest. First of all, dying in a donut eating contest, even though you're in a donut eating contest, that's pretty lame, let's be honest. But you know what isn't lame? Getting half your torso ripped off in a wood chipper. That is metal. And that is going to go down on history. You're going to be like, oh, how did you lose your limbs? Oh, I lost them to diabetes in a donut eating costume? No, you lost your limbs to a wood chipper. And that is a story you can tell your kids for generations. And you know what? Even if you are hooked up to machines, And it's not a bad idea because in the future, with technology coming soon, you might be able to get big, cool robot legs. And you cannot do that if you die in a donut eating contest. So believe me, it's better to live and see what the future may hold, because if you get those really cool robot legs, maybe they can produce donuts too. And then you could even choose to do the donut thing later. You can hit both. So ending it at the donut is way too early.
All right, well, Deen has completed his argument. So now, Tycho, you have the opportunity to give some commentary or some thoughts on our arguments and kind of say like what you liked about them, what you didn't like about them, potentially all of that, our strengths, weaknesses, whatever you want, and then end it off by choosing who you think won the debate.
Well, gentlemen, it was a hard-fought battle, and I do have some interesting, I hope, comments and observations for the both of yours. Deen, you began your argument with an ad hominem attack against your opponent, which was a personal, crude, and very rude way to begin your argument, and so I liked it a lot for that. Antonio, I found that your prose perhaps was the most compelling of the values and virtues of being able to go out through overindulgence to something that you really enjoy, as compared to suffering through pains and aches and weaknesses and even the horrors of old age, as they've been described to me before. However, I do think that at the end of the day, I found Dean's suggestion that one could do both by going into the wood chipper and then living a long life of suffering to reach the point where you can have robotic limbs that you can then produce donuts from to eat yourself to death once again. Does seem to provide a little more semblance of a middle ground than perhaps going whole hog on the donuts right at the beginning. So I think it is with my utmost dismay that I must say that going into the wood chipper could be the better option in this one.
Let's go! Yes!
All right, you know what? I got to give it to you, Dean. You did a good job. Hats off to you. That was good. That was good. But that was only our first debate of the night. All right, Dean, you may have won. You may have bested me this time, but this is not over. All right.
I will find you.
But Tycho, thank you for giving your thoughts.
Thank you.
All right. So moving on to the next debate. Dean, why don't you give your topic, one of your topics?
Ooh, well, let me pull it up here. Okay, hold on, my camera's gonna go.
Dean's topics in the past have been interesting.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna put too much. I don't want to put too much weight.
So
I know Dean had to come up with them kind of fast. But anyway, go ahead.
We're gonna start off with a rather bland one, and this one is gonna be maybe. I had to take a class about this, and we had catering to this particular topic. I had to analyze this film in deep quality. So I'd like to hear from you guys. Do you think Citizen Kane is a good film? Because it's been noted as one of the best films of all time and a film marker to establish like film creativity into the industry. But there's some discourse about it as well. So it's a very general topic, very very bland, but I feel like it could get interesting. So I'd like to hear you guys' opinions.
So can I ask, Tycho, have you seen Citizen Kane?
I think I'd rather leave that a mystery up until the discourse has concluded.
Okay,
this is
me too.
I think this would be a good topic.
me too. Then
Perhaps
I guess we'll leave that ambiguous.
In closing comments at the conclusion of our arguments.
Yeah, Dean, you can pick a different movie. I'll allow it if you want.
You want me to pick?
If you want to pick it, I'm just saying. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying if you want.
I think it would be more interesting for you guys to go in blind for this one. But you know what?
That's okay.
What? If you guys really want, I'll cater to your whims and I'll pick a movie that everyone's seen. But
no, I think this could be good.
Okay.
This could be interesting.
Now, do tell me. You know what? Who gets to? Oh, let's flip that coin.
We'll flip that coin.
Gets to pick first?
Tycho, I'll let you pick. I'll let you choose the coin flip or call the coin flip.
All right. Well, tails was unlucky last time, so let's go for tails.
All right.
All right.
I like your thought process.
Wow, it still
was
sucks.
heads. It's still unlucky. I'm sorry to say. All right. Well, I suppose I will pick why it's not a good movie. In fact,
I see.
In fact, I'll go as far as to say that it is a blemish on the cinematic, on the realm of cinema. But maybe I shouldn't be so quick to make that claim. Even though I have seen the movie, just to be clear, I've definitely seen it. So this should be
Of
easy.
course, you
Yeah.
going in uninformed would be a terrible decision.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. So okay. So yeah, I'm ready. I think I'm ready. To give my argument. So, Tycho, if you want, you can time me and I'll time you when it's your turn.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Should we do
Or-
the holding up fingers?
or
when
I
we've got
mean,
10 seconds left?
Well,
That's
actually,
helpful.
Dean, do you want to be in charge of the timer so that way?
Yeah,
like,
sure. I'll pull up the timer right
yeah,
now.
Okay, that makes more sense. Actually, that makes more sense. All right.
All right, 1 minute, correct?
Yes.
All right. Start whenever you're ready.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So, Citizen Kane. If you didn't know, it's a 1941 American drama film, directed by, produced by, and starring Orson Welles. And it's actually a really bad movie. I don't get why so many people hold it in such high regard. It's from 1941. Do you realize how far in cinema we've come since 1941? And we're still regarding this old fossil of a movie to be like the peak or like one of the peaks of cinema. Are you kidding me, dude? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, oh wow, it was nominated for the Academy Awards in 9 categories and it won for best writing. Like, oh wow, look at me. I just think that that's ridiculous. Like, we've come. Is it in the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time? No, it's not. So obviously it's not that important to cinema as so many people think it is, okay? Because if it was important to cinema, more people would have seen it. That's just, I think that's just a fact. And like I've said already, so many more movies have come out. So many movies have, maybe they've seen this and like, I can improve upon this. So they would, they went off of what Citizen Kane kind of left, but then they improved.
Stop!
And that's the point. Okay.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Tycho, would you like to take the stand?
Yeah, I think I'll make a rebuttal.
Yeah, okay. Whenever you're ready.
All right. We're going to talk about tropes. Tropes are these ideas of patented, some would call them cliched ideas, objects, symbols that appear in literature, in television, and in film. And Citizen Kane is notable for producing one of perhaps the most widely recognized and widely spoiled, some might say, tropes, which is that the guy was just worried about his old childhood sled all along and wasn't actually concerned about a person or an event that had happened back in his time. This was influential and an incredible turn of events, a change of a story that had never before been seen in history in cinema, and it went on to influence many, many films and movies and tales and stories that have been told since then. This influence, this remarkable impact upon culture and upon the film industry is perhaps the most clarifying idea that would cement this as being the most influential film nobody has ever actually seen.
All right, very, very interesting stances from both of you. I'm surprised, quite honestly, that both of you knew so much about the film while also knowing so terribly little. So it's quite interesting to see how this went.
I'm honestly, I can't tell if Tycho actually has seen it or not at this point.
I have not.
Okay, so you were okay. No, okay.
Well, actually, that's not true. I saw the clip from The Simpsons where they make fun of it for about 3 seconds.
Okay,
That's
he has
better.
some background.
That's better than the amount that I've seen, which is literally nothing. So, so I'll give you that.
Right.
Okay, well, yeah, Dean,
So-
you have the floor.
Antonio, you started out by saying Citizen Kane was a bad movie because it was old and dated and not it didn't have enough Marvel one-liners for you to enjoy it properly.
Nothing
So-
on the one-liners to be enjoyed properly.
Yeah, exactly. See, Tycho gets it.
It didn't have
Tycho
enough
gets it over here.
avatars. It didn't have enough
Yeah.
purple people snapping
Yeah.
their fingers. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff.
Antonio
like-
did not like it because it did not mention blue people or Iron Man every 0.2 seconds.
Mhm.
So that's the stance he took on it. And then Tycho, you somehow brought up a lot of information relating to Citizen Kane, mysteriously citing the very end of the movie on like the whole point of it as well. Almost sounding like somehow, I don't even know how you did it. It sounds like you almost watched the movie by saying it. And I think one of there was a good point that that was in the movie that you did not bring up, but it was in there, and I'm a little bit surprised if that no one's seen it, but there's literally a Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare in that movie, and it scared the ever living crap out of me. And I'm not even kidding. If you guys want to look up Citizen Kane jump scare.
I feel like
After
you showed
this-
me this. I feel like you showed me this.
Did
before.
I did actually? Do
Yeah.
you remember the parrot that screeches at the top of his lungs?
Yeah, vaguely I do. Yeah, because I remember you had to watch that for a class.
Yeah, there's a scene in the movie where it's literally it goes quiet towards the end of the movie, and the director writes that the only and then it just hits you with this giant, super loud bird jump scare that scares
So I
you
guess-
to half to death.
Yeah,
And then
I guess by that logic, I have seen part of it.
yeah, and then they say the only reason it's in there to make sure the viewer is still awake because the movie
Yeah.
is so incredibly boring.
So if I had like used that to my advantage and brought that up, maybe that I could have appealed to you better. But
Yeah,
anyway.
so yeah, you never know. You both brought up very good clarifying information. This is really hard to say. But I think even though I do not like the film at all, I think it like the reason they had the bird jump scare in there was for people like me who thought it was insanely boring. I think Tycho gets this one just because he was able to pull out so much information about the entire point of the movie as a whole and well-rounded it, even though he has seen nothing but a Simpsons gag from it. And so that just based on that merit alone and his reasoning, I have to give it to him. It's just
I should clarify. I think that the ending of Citizen Kane is perhaps one of, if not the most spoiled endings of all film, just because it's been around for so long.
that is true, and it also is the pinnacle of cinema here. Although
Yeah,
many people today would call it blue people. So
I mean, I haven't seen it. So like,
yeah, Tony hasn't
you
seen
know.
it, so you just spoiled him on the movie.
Yeah, dude,
Congratulations,
what the heck?
Tycho.
Yeah, I was gonna watch that
Congratulations.
actually after this. No,
I was gonna watch
What I
that.
saw was the Seven Samurai instead. Much more action.
There we go. Okay,
Yeah,
see,
I need more
even
more
a better
action, more
movie
stimulation
recommendation.
when I'm watching movies. All right, well, so Tycho, you did so Tycho,
Tycho
takes
wins
the
the
win for
point.
this. All right.
Congratulations, my good
All
sir.
right, well, yeah, no, congratulations, Tycho. Okay, winning your first debate.
You.
Okay, I got to catch up now. I got to play catch up now. But this is, this is not. I'm not gonna have the opportunity to right now because I'm gonna be presenting my first topic to you guys. Okay, so let's see. I have two here. We'll do this one first. Okay, so social media. You guys know what it is. It's so prevalent in the lives of people our age, people in general. My question this is something that I've kind of been pondering within myself, at least recently. Is social media worth having or worth like subscribing to, downloading, partaking in, interacting with it? And social media, the broad term, like any amount of social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, any of these platforms. So that's the topic that I'm pondering to you. So if you guys decide who wants to call the coin flip.
I'm a stickler for heads tails. So I'm gonna go tails again.
Okay, well, so D will
I
pick
claim
tails.
the tails. It better not fail me
Alright.
a second time.
Well, okay, it is actually
Yes,
tails
okay.
this time. Okay, so all right, so D, you'll get to pick first.
I'm gonna go on the side of social media is important.
It is important. Okay,
I'm gonna
all right.
take a left curve here.
Okay, no,
Unexpected.
I'm excited to hear your argument. Okay, well, let me get the timer ready here. Would you prefer if I had like a little visual countdown on like when your time's gonna end, or would you rather me just kind of like
You can just cut me off.
Just cut you off. Okay. I'll give you that one of those options too, Tycho. Whatever you want. But anyway, okay. So whenever you're ready, I'll start the time.
All right. So I've been thinking about this thing lately a lot as well. And I've been thinking, is social media important? Well, there are a lot of cons to social media. If you abuse them too heavily, it can drain you in a lot of ways in life. And it leads you to be emotionally and mentally drained in some ways. But I think it's good to ration your social media time, because there's also a point where you realize that mostly social media has become the new news outlet for people, and that's how most people get their information. Because if you go to most mainstream media sources nowadays, they're mostly one-sided. You could say generally most media sources are biased in some way or another, and most of the top trending stories are kind of just like shock factor, horrible events. Like, I don't think I've ever looked up a news thing without seeing like 28,000 dead in Miami, or like a bunch of minor domestic things that happen just to make you super depressed and drained all the time.
All right, that
but
is
social
time.
media, what? Oh my god, I didn't
You
even
can
get to my
finish your
point.
thought. You can finish your
Okay,
thought, but that
I was
is
just
time.
really quickly. I'm just saying, social media filters the content and brings you the important stuff you want to know, so you don't have to go through all that mind-numbing pain from all the other stories.
Okay.
It's a good filter on some things.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Okay. Tycho,
For news, at least.
you will have you'll have your opportunity to give your argument now. Do you want me to give you a visual countdown, or do you want me to just cut you?
Maybe give me the last 5 seconds.
Last 5 seconds? Okay, sounds good. All right. Well, in that case, start whenever you're ready.
I don't have a whole lot of experience with social media. I got a phone pretty late in my high school career, and so I was sort of timid with how I went out and sought out social media. But what I have found as somebody who has lurked around and gotten my news from other people's social media feeds as I've bumped into them occasionally randomly, I've determined that most of what social media ends up doing, at least when you look at the total amount of usage overall, the kinds of people who stay on social media for a long time are the kinds of people who just like to get into arguments with other people without considering the fact that there is an actual living, breathing human being on the other side of the screen. They see these words and they think, oh, that is a bad, and I must be an internet warrior and tell them that they are bad and they should feel bad. And it's really a bummer when that happens. One of my favorite little social media platforms was this little indie productivity tracker / social media group goal sharing program. And it has fallen into disrepair recently because of all the arguments that have been taking place over it.
All right.
You know, I'd say Tycho had a really good point there as well. I gotta say, the opposing side had a pretty good claim.
You know, you did good when your opponent gives you the.
This is true, but I was just about to interject that I hadn't even considered the amount of news that I get from looking into and browsing around occasionally on social media, whether that's from Twitter or Reddit or whatever there is. It seems like stories crop up just by even passing by it, which is admittedly pretty cool.
No, yeah,
it's
you guys
very
both
interesting.
had good points in favor of your arguments. Dean, I think it is very true. I think that is, I guess that's kind of like a point that's like, at least for me, that's taken for granted with social media, is that, I do get a lot of news and like updates about certain things that are happening just because I'm on it and people would be talking about it. And so I'll hear like, oh, I didn't, like if I wasn't using social media, I might have not have heard that unless I was like actively looking at other news outlets. Right. And so I thought that was a good point. Tycho, I thought the point, that you made, like, that is like very, very true thing about social media, is it can become a very hectic, angry, ruthless place with a lot of people yelling at each other and disagreeing. And I think
that's just all of 4chan.
Yeah, yeah. That's just how it is. Like, I think we've
I may
just
not
reached
know
the
much
point
about
where,
social media, but I know to stay away from there.
Yeah, definitely stay away.
Yeah, I personally have never been on 4chan, and I don't think I will ever go on.
I second that motion.
if that's how it is, I don't know.
Maybe
But,
if we don't touch it, it'll go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to issue a ban for 4chan.
Make it happen. No.
Make it happen now.
I'm trying to think, because this is actually tough, because I think both of you guys had good arguments, and I'm trying not to let my personal stance on it like kind of sway me in either direction. I think I think at the end of the day, I think I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with. This is tough. I'm sorry. I'm like.
No, take your time. See, Tycho, we're neck and neck here.
You
I'm
guys
pointing
had
to you
very
across the side.
equal in my viewpoint. You guys had very equal arguments. So this is not easy.
You can do like an equal hand, like next
Yeah,
to each
wait.
other, just like show where the balance is.
Does that work,
Yeah.
or am I on the right side?
Oh, it's working. Yeah.
You guys are both.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are trying. What are you guys trying to do?
Doing the equal sign.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Now,
Yeah.
yeah, now you guys are basically doing it. Yes, I think. Yeah, you guys just look at birds. Okay. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with Deen.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, this is hard though because you guys both had really good arguments, but I think Deen, you did argue a good point that, I don't typically think of when I kind of debate this in my head, and I think that that's something that, a lot of people can relate to is like getting their news from social media and, potentially like that's like their main platform for that, so. No, you know what? I'm going with Tycho. I changed my mind.
All right. Change your mind.
I changed my mind because I just thought of this. The thing about social media that I don't think a lot of people think of is that it can kind of become an echo chamber when it comes
That's
to
also
news.
true.
And I think that is a detriment about it. I think that if you really want to like research your news, I think that you should just look into it yourself instead of relying on social media.
That is also something I did not consider because I was thinking more objectively or subjectively about the subject of like just getting in news income, but I do know that social media will give you personalized information and news feeds based on your political views and views about other subjects. So yeah, it can become an echo chamber as well.
So I literally just thought of that. So sorry for kind of the fake out.
No, I understand.
Tycho, I'm giving you this round. I'm giving you this.
Tycho wins.
Yeah.
Wow.
So good job, sir.
It was a victory hard fought.
Yeah.
That was a tough battle right there.
Huh, yeah. Okay. Anyway. All right. Well, that's okay. So we're gonna do a couple more. Tycho, would you like to present your second topic for me and Deen?
Sure. Yeah. All right. So this one perhaps edges a little bit more into the philosophical. Does life imitate art, or does art imitate life?
Ooh. Okay. Is that's the whole sort of prompt, right?
Yep.
Okay. No, I like that. Okay. So Deen, I think you called the coin flip last time. So do you mind if I call it this time?
Be my guest.
Oh, here I'll let you guys see. Okay. I'm gonna say. I think it's gonna be heads. I'm gonna call heads.
Okay.
It was not heads. Okay. So.
I pick art imitates life.
Okay. This is philosophical. I'm gonna need time to think about this, so I'm glad that you're going first.
Please.
I am ready to go.
All right, so yeah, Tycho, if you want to go ahead and
Let me get
count down or time Deen.
timer ready. Should I just holler at you when you're at your minute, or do you want to signal?
Just tell me when to stop. I like to
Okay.
cut off.
All right.
All right. So the reason I'm going with art imitates life is because art is a resultant of the human expression, and as a collective, we humans produce art. So therefore, it is in the nature of art to imitate life because it is a product of what life brings. And so, in that case, in that scenario, you could say that if we technically are life, and if art is imitating us, then art is imitating me, and therefore, my medium of expression is art. So all of you should bow down to me, for I am the one true artist which you are now all supposed to hold reverence to. So, therefore, anything I say, produce, think, or speak is art. And you all have to recognize that even if I go to the bathroom, that is a sign of art that you cannot take away. My pee, my poop, which may be dyed
I think
blue.
this is a perfect pot to cut you off.
Thank you for cutting him off there. Okay. I mean, sorry. Who am I to judge my opponent here for their side? Um, okay. I
You want to
think.
signal or anything?
Yeah. Give me like a. I like the 10-minute the 10-second timer, but give me like 1 second. I need to get a tissue. I'm sorry.
All good. He's trying to buy extra time.
Actually, is that art now?
Caught me. What?
Yeah, this is art. See, what he's done is just a form of expression.
Yeah, I can.
And the
I can-
art that has taken place is in the form of comedy.
Dean, you've had
Further
your-
proving my point.
This. Wait. Okay. Wait. So I'm arguing that life imitates art, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure. Okay. I think I'm ready.
All right.
So I will present my argument when you're. Oh, do I just start?
Go ahead.
Whatever. Okay. So, the question that you've posed here is very philosophical, as you said. I thought about it for while my opponent was going, and I do really think that life imitates art in a lot of ways, and maybe in some ways that we don't always notice at first, because the idea of art is in a sense you're kind of taking a concept from life and sort of like presenting it in a way that is, like your own creation, like art, right? But I think in a lot of ways, because of how much influence that art can have on people and on our general society, I think that, a lot of things that do happen can kind of like mirror certain aspects of art. And one example that I thought of is, The Simpsons, and I know you're familiar with The Simpsons, Tycho, The Simpsons has infamously predicted a lot of different things that have happened. Can I name a specific example off the top of my head? Not really, but I do know that that's true, and I think that that's a good point. Like The Simpsons has inadvertently kind of like predicted certain things, and so whether that was chance or not, it usually is. Life imitates art. Simpsons is art in this case.
Got to bring up the point where Bart couldn't do his homework, and so the art form is imitating me because I can't do my homework.
I feel that intensely.
Yeah, see?
Anyway, yeah, I think I've said my business.
Sounds good. Yeah. So the onus of this particular question comes from I was reading through some old science fiction from my bookshelf the other day, and I noticed that there were several of these different works, some science fiction stuff that predicted ideas like the internet or connected computers before either of those things really fully existed. And it occurred to me there's this question: does what we create influence what happens, or does what happens influence what we create? And I was kind of rolling this around, and I think that my personal take on it is that what we see influences what we think about. What we think about influences what we build. What we build influences what comes out of life and what is produced, and therefore becomes life. And so it's a little bit of a chicken or egg, which came first.
It's a bit of both. No.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the key to it, which both of you touched on, is that it's the human element that really creates this advance in what happens, no matter whether we're starting at the point of art or we're starting at the point of life. It's the humanity that pushes the wheel forward and makes things keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So, however, I do still need to pick somebody to win this particular debate. And I think for my money, because I'm going to go with Antonio on this one, because he pointed out how perhaps unintentionally sometimes in the case of The Simpsons, but often what we imagine and what we kind of put thought into, could this happen? Is this feasible? Let's see about making this does turn into what we experience. So life does imitate art.
That is also very true. Because if you see some, like if someone, I guess a common example of this is you could just say fan art. All fan art is art imitating life. Or is it life imitating art? Forget. It's life imitating art. Because you, the human, imitate the art that is produced. And so if you watch a really funny show,
Yes,
you meld those characteristics into your own personality.
Yeah.
And then therefore, because you were such a fan of that show and you've adopted that new character into your personality, you've taken some of their jokes. Someone else who doesn't know that show might imitate you, and
It's
so
sort of a
therefore, it's a chain reaction of life to art, art to life.
yeah. No, I think
Ian
that's a good
watched
point.
the children's television show Bluey a while back, and now I seem to turn Australian with no warning every now and again.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
he's
see?
been
Life
brainwashed.
imitates art. What can I? Yeah, it just.
This is part of
See,
it.
I think that the angle that I thought of it at was kind of like sort of one note, and I kind of wish I thought about it more like this. I'll still take the win. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, no, I think this was a good overall. I liked this topic. Makes you think a little bit.
Glad I could provoke a little thought.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank
This
you,
was
Tycho.
good. This was good.
Yes. Okay. Well. So that ends that. So I got my first point.
You're on the board.
Yeah. If I walk out with just 1 point, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Like that's I'm fine with that. Okay. All right, Dean, if you would like to present your next topic for me and Tycho.
Okay, this one's a bit of a more interesting topic. So, in a zombie apocalypse, in a scenario where it is the end of the world, we'll say for reference, the zombies are very threatening, they're very fast, and very dangerous. For means of survival, which is better? Foraging for supplies and gathering, or cannibalism? I'll leave it up to the debaters to choose.
I knew. This is a tried and true Dean topic. I'll say that much. All right. Well, Tycho, do you want to call the coin flip? I think I let you call it last time, maybe.
Yeah. Why don't you take a turn?
All right, I'll take it. God, hold on. I need to think about this for a second. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, I thought about it. Okay, I'm gonna say.
So,
What did I pick? I picked heads last time, so I'm gonna pick tails this time.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Okay. The odds were not completely stacked against me tonight. Okay. So I am going to pick. I'm going to pick foraging. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. All right. So Dean, if you want to pull up a timer, and I'll start whenever.
Gotta start whenever you're ready.
Start whenever I'm ready. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So. It's a zombie apocalypse, as you described, Dean. I've thought about like what I would do in a zombie apocalypse, and overall, the main thing about a zombie apocalypse is I'd want to make it out alive. I've decided, and I know that can be kind of a controversial take and a controversial sort of standpoint to have on it. Because some people are like, if it's a zombie apocalypse, you might as well just like let go of life or whatever. But no, I think that that's giving up, and I don't give up. I like to persevere, and I would want to try to make it out alive and survive as any means necessary. And I'd want to try to keep as many people that I care about alive and with me and safe. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to, if they get bitten by a zombie and they turn into a zombie, that sucks. I would not want that to happen. I want to try to prevent that from happening. So I think that foraging and furthermore, I wouldn't want to eat any of my friends. I'd want them to all stay alive. Like I said, I know it's the end of the world, but it's either we don't go out at the expense of each other. We either go down together or we live together. That's how I like to think about it. So I'd want to work together,
Time's up.
Gather a team, forage for supplies.
All right, very interesting stance. Very interesting stance. All right, Tycho, will you take the stage, please?
I've got a clarifying question that I think will influence my tact here.
Go ahead.
Is eating a zombie considered cannibalism?
No, because at that point the zombie has become something else.
Nuts. Okay. What if it
No
has
loopholes for you today. All right, start whenever you're ready.
There are many who would look at this situation and tell you that cannibalism is perhaps the worst thing you can do, sacrificing your humanity in exchange for your own survival, and what could be considered a situation where what is needed to maintain your stamina and your sanity as a human being is relying on your shared humanity to work together with others. However, very few have considered the nutritional and survival benefits of consuming human beings. For instance, protein. Humans are full of it. It's healthy to eat, it's good for you, and it's just more meat eventually. There's also all these nifty little bones that you can use to make weaponry and other survival tools. You could even construct for yourself a small set of cookware using the skull and perhaps the tendons and fingers of your most recent kill. And after all, if you're trying to survive, zombies are going to be looking for things that are running away from things that eat humans, not the things that eat humans. It's perhaps the most effective and quick survival tactic, so long as you don't mind losing to yourself, perhaps, everything that makes you you.
All right, very good, interesting topics from each person. I like Antonio's stance on persevering, hope, the human expression, and survival at its finest, foraging, and just trying to get through this thing as best as possible. But I also, Tycho's stance on cannibalism, I did not expect for him to take the stance that the human bones would make really good tools that you could use.
That's
that was something. So if we trace that back to the Native
Everybody knows
Americans,
that in a zombie apocalypse, there's a dearth of hardware stores that you can go visit.
yeah. See, so the Tycho's got like on-command tools from human bones. So, and if we trace back that to Native Americans who use every part of the body, well, that's in the spirit of nature, is it not? So, I think this one's a close one because I like both stances. But Tycho brought up something I really didn't expect out of left field, which surprised me, and I think I'm gonna have to give him the point on that matter, just because of it was a very creative way to take things for cannibalism.
Tycho made a very convincing argument about why you should be a cannibal, and
I
respect
convinced you about that.
I thought it was a very unique standpoint.
For the record, I am wholly and entirely against cannibalism. As,
I don't know.
as a survival method. But
made
my
a
I don't know,
pretty
you made-
convincing
that I
case for
played
yourself.
was a zombie, so
See, he's already giving in.
Well,
We'll get him next time,
I'll
gentlemen.
keep this in mind for when the zombie apocalypse does inevitably happen.
You know, yeah. So when you're in the zombie apocalypse, they say, "When in Rome, do as the Romans." So
Yeah. Well,
you never know.
we're
Roman
learning a lot
zombies show
tonight.
up here
You know,
in the United States, and I think there's some real problems going on.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Legionnaires.
Just a couple.
Yeah, just a couple. All right. Well,
If they were Roman zombies with like cuts and gaping sores all over them, would they be legionnaires?
these are
A
the
legion
important
of
questions.
legionnaires.
That's a good question.
These are the important questions.
Does the legion have to include blood? Does it have to bleed?
These are answers. These are questions that we may never know the answer to. Truly,
Yeah.
It's true.
maybe we'll save that for the next debate night episode.
The next debate one. That'll be part 2.
Yeah.
How does one classify a zombie with open wounds?
Mincemeat.
I'll take it.
We could
There we
just this is going to be a whole episode of just
This
us
zombie
talking
one
about
can go on
zombie
for-
apocalypse, theoretically. I would do it. I'd gladly do it. I just love that, because Dean, you came up with these topics like kind of like quickly, and I just love that this was like one of your first thoughts. You're like, let's go with zombie apocalypse. I like that. I respect that.
Just had to happen.
All right. Well, to close off this this round of this merry little night of debates, I have one more topic for you guys to talk about. I know you guys both you both like music, or at least I'm sure like to an extent you guys have music that you like listening to. I mean, like, who am I to say whether you should or shouldn't? But either way, the point is I'm trying to make here is that I think in music there's important aspects. There's melody and there's lyrics. And I've kind of like had this discussion with people. Some people are more, they respond more to melody. Some people respond more to lyrics. So overall, I want to ask you guys, like, what is more important, lyrics or melody in music? So that is my next topic. All right, so let me share my screen here, and I think Dean called the coin flip last time. It was between you guys, so Tycho, you can call it this time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with heads this go around. Heads has been pretty lucky.
All right.
Here we go.
It was tails. Sorry to say.
I choose melody.
Okay. All right. Dean's going with melody. Okay. Well, Dean, I will pull up the timer, and you can start whenever you're ready.
So, since the beginning of time, all right, cavemen have been hitting sticks and stones together to produce dunk, dunk, dunk sounds. That was the original music that sparked everything. From there, we got war music with people banging their shields together and chant. We have the Aztec death whistle, which is strictly melody, yet is able to convey such a deep-rooted feeling of fear and dread for the opponent. Then, classical music. We've evolved. No lyrics whatsoever, yet beautiful melodies which have lasted throughout time, like Lacrimosa. Alright? Now, we go to today, and we have Friday Night Funkin'. And you see, there are no lyrics in the game, yet the beeps and boops have captivated the internet and everything around it. So, honestly, we gotta say, comparing a guitar
That's
solo
time.
to Friday Night Funkin', they're pretty good.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dean, for that. Okay.
Of course.
Well, Tycho, it all comes down to you. Whenever you're ready, you'll present your argument on why lyrics are more important.
All right. I have a few specific counter arguments against what Dean has said. All those beeps and boops in Friday Night Funkin' are supposed to represent actual lyrical rapping between the two characters that are presented. So all the beeps and boops could be considered a melodic form of lyrics. Also, somebody
Touche.
says "ugh" a few times in at least one of the songs. Furthermore,
Touche.
if we didn't have lyrics in our songs, we wouldn't get sea shanties. And if we didn't have sea shanties, then I wouldn't have anything that I could really sing with my basso voice when I'm hiking, which would be kind of unfortunate and sort of take a little bit of the fun out of marching into camp all dusty and dirty, but singing something really low at the top of my voice and making everybody wonder just what on earth is going on over there. And finally, if we didn't have lyrics, then we wouldn't really know what we're supposed to do when a song is being sung or otherwise performed. We might just stand around and listen and feel just a little bit awkward for not knowing what it is that we're meant to say next.
All right. Oh, okay. Well,
Good point. Touche.
good point. Yeah. Once again, guys, you guys are very, at least in my opinion, you guys are very much on equal grounds right now in my mind. Like, you guys did a very good job presenting your arguments, Dean. I like how you kind of gave like a sort of a perspective on the history of music, and why melody is so important, and like it's a very fundamental aspect of music as a whole. Whereas Tycho, I think that I really enjoyed the sort of examples that you gave, and reasons why lyrics are very important and why they're why they matter to you, why they're important to you, because they're very valid. I especially like that you took the angle of sea shanties, because I do really enjoy being a good sea shanty every now and then. Okay, let's see here.
Regardless of the outcome of this, I think that we need to make it happen such that we get Quentin, Antonio, myself, and maybe some others together to sing a good rousing round of "What Do You Do with a Sleepy Pirate?"
We need a quartet.
I think that is a thing that needs to happen. Yes, I would agree.
I'll be the alto.
Yeah, we can make it a whole acapella thing. Man, okay. As much as this is tough. This is tough again. I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna have to go with Tycho. And I know. I mean, like, because here's the thing. I think Tycho brought up some really good points.
He did.
I almost went with Dean, because I think Dean, I liked your angle of giving like a history of music. But I think that Tycho, I guess maybe to his advantage, because he went after you. I think that he kind of got to kind of like debunk.
He countered my Friday Night Funkin' point.
He did kind of counter your Friday Night Funkin' point, and I was just like, oh darn, there's some shots being fired. So overall, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to give it to Tycho on this one.
Wow. Okay. Ironically, my own musical tastes tend much more so towards the instrumental melodic side than lyrical music. So
And I kind
Deep-rooted
of
melody.
thought that too. I kind of thought like I feel like Tycho responds more to melody. That's just that's kind of my impression. But I think you did. I mean, like I think like I don't know. I enjoyed your argument, your perspective.
He's got a French horn behind him, for crying out loud.
Yeah, but
That is a French horn. Am I
Yes,
right?
indeed.
Yeah,
Yes.
but overall, guys, I mean,
Used to be
like
an English horn, but then the Normans came.
yeah.
The darn Nords.
Overall, excuse me. This was a very successful debate night. Thank you for partaking in this with me. This was very fun. And Tycho, thank you for joining us for your very first episode of Chit Chats. This was a wonderful experience. I hope that you enjoyed yourself.
I really did. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I was going through some of the old Tonyverse backlogs, I guess you could call them, just of videos and stuff, and seeing some of the other chit chats and some of the other stuff that we did way back in high school and things like that. And
For sure.
It's neat to just see what a thoughtful and creative bunch of friends that I've got, and I'm glad to be invited to hang out and participate with you guys.
Well,
We've come a long way. It means a lot.
we have, yeah, and I appreciate that, Tycho. And you are more than welcome to come back on the show again at some point,
Thank you.
hopefully soon.
We'll have debate night 2, where it becomes even more intense.
Yes,
We have like a shark pit below us that the losers descended slowly into upon. It's like a counterbalance weight system. Whoever gets the point right gets raised above the shark pit a little more, but whoever, in response, the other person is lowered for losing.
We could also go ahead and get some room lighting like what you've got for myself and for Antonio.
Yeah.
yeah, true.
Wait. So we could even make it more sinister.
Oh,
and
shoot.
So if you
see,
do
Dean?
not pass the shark test,
Yeah, see,
You
no,
will be
see,
lowered
Dean, if
into
you
the
had
pit.
had that lighting set up, I might have found you more intimidating, and I might have picked you.
give
that
me the victory
alone.
points.
Yeah, which I feel bad because I did influence your lighting choice before we started. But either way, overall, thank you guys for being here. This was fun. And thank you all for watching this episode of Chit Chats and this debate night. And we'll see you guys in the next episode of Chit Chats.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Peace.
What?